Hi everybody. Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will dive into the thrilling twists awaiting us in Port Charles for the week of July 14th to 18th. Where emotions run high at Natalia Ramirez's memorial, Sasha Gilmore Corbin delivers a shocking revelation to Nina Reeves, and Jason Morgan encounters an unexpected twist that could shake up alliances. The week kicks off with Natalia Ramirez's memorial service, which promises to be anything but peaceful, transforming into a hotbed of simmering tensions and unresolved grudges. As mourners gather to honor her memory, old wounds are reopened, particularly for Marco Rios, whose grief morphs into a fierce determination for vengeance against Sonny Corinthos. Imagine the scene: flickering candles, hushed whispers, and Marco's eyes burning with fury as he overhears snippets of conversations that fuel his vendetta, perhaps even confronting Sonny directly in a heated exchange that leaves the attendees stunned. This added layer of confrontation might include Marco vowing to expose Sonny's past misdeeds, drawing in other family members who are torn between loyalty and fear. Meanwhile, Sonny, ever the strategist, begins to turn the tables on his adversary Sidwell by uncovering a hidden weakness, maybe a secret alliance, or a financial vulnerability that Sonny exploits through clever maneuvering, such as enlisting underground contacts for insider information. This shift in power dynamics not only bolsters Sonny's position but inadvertently places Marco in greater peril, as Sidwell's retaliation could ripple back to those connected to the conflict, heightening the stakes for everyone involved. Adding to the chaos, Lucas Jones finds himself gripped by an overwhelming panic, his instincts screaming that Marco's safety is hanging by a thread amid the escalating dangers. Picture Lucas pacing the halls of General Hospital, his mind racing with worst-case scenarios, perhaps confiding in a trusted colleague about nightmares of Marco being caught in the crossfire of Sonny's wars. This worry stems from Lucas's deep familial bonds, amplified by invented elements like a recent anonymous threat Lucas receives, warning him of impending doom if Marco doesn't back off. His anxiety might lead to desperate actions, such as attempting to mediate between Marco and Sonny, only to realize the feud is too entrenched. This personal turmoil underscores the human cost of Port Charles's power struggles, where even medical professionals like Lucas are pulled into the vortex of crime and retribution, forcing him to question his own role in protecting his loved ones from the shadows that loom over the town. Shifting focus to the intrigue surrounding Anna Devane, she takes decisive steps by initiating a thorough background check on the enigmatic Vaughn, her suspicions growing like vines in an intended garden. Anna's keen detective skills, honed from years of experience, lead her to piece together clues, perhaps discrepancies in Vaughn's travel records or unexplained connections to international figures that confirm her initial doubts. In a creative twist, she might discover forged documents hinting at Vaughn's ties to a covert operation, solidifying her theory that he's embedded within the World Security Bureau (WSB). This revelation isn't just a hunch, it's backed by detailed analysis of patterns, like unusual communication logs that match WSB protocols, making Anna's insight spot-on and potentially explosive. As she digs deeper, this could jeopardize Josslyn Jax's closely guarded secret, especially if Anna starts connecting dots to Josslyn's recent secretive behaviors, such as unexplained absences or cryptic phone calls that suggest involvement in high-stakes espionage. Building on this, Anna confronts Carly Spencer with a barrage of pointed questions, probing for any slips that might reveal more about Josslyn's activities. Envision Carly, caught off guard in a cozy coffee shop setting, deflecting Anna's inquiries while internally wrestling with her protective instincts as a mother. Anna, ever the tactician, might suspect Josslyn as a fresh WSB recruit, based on observed parallels to past agents' profiles, including Josslyn's sudden interest in self-defense training or her evasive responses to family queries. This interrogation adds tension, with Carly perhaps inventing alibis on the spot, like claiming Josslyn's distractions stem from college stresses, all while Anna's piercing gaze hints she sees through the facade. The scene could escalate with Anna subtly threatening to involve authorities, forcing Carly to weigh the risks of silence versus disclosure in this web of deception. Meanwhile, Josslyn Jax embarks on daring maneuvers tied to her latest mission, showcasing her evolving prowess as she navigates perilous assignments that test her limits. Amid the adrenaline, she carves out a moment to confide in her best friend Trina Robinson about the heartbreaking end of her relationship with Kai Taylor. perhaps sharing tearful details over late-night ice cream sessions where Josslyn reveals how Kai's betrayal may be a hidden affair or conflicting loyalty shattered her trust. This personal subplot adds emotional depth, with Trina offering sage advice drawn from her own romantic trials, suggesting Josslyn channel her pain into her work. Invented elements like Josslyn discovering a memento from Kai during a mission could trigger flashbacks, blending her professional boldness with raw vulnerability, reminding viewers that even spies have hearts that ache. At General Hospital, the drama intensifies as Sasha Gilmore Corbin and Michael Corinthos escort Daisy Clark Coughlin in for what turns out to be a pivotal medical consultation, setting the stage for disappointing revelations that hit Willow Tate hard. Visualize the sterile hospital room filled with anticipation, where doctors deliver news of Daisy's worsening condition, perhaps a rare complication requiring immediate relocation for specialized treatment, prompting Sasha and Daisy to consider leaving Port Charles altogether. This development threatens to dismantle Willow's carefully orchestrated gaslighting scheme against Sasha, as the plot's foundation crumbles with their potential departure. Willow might react with visible unease, her composed facade cracking as she overhears the plans, leading to invented moments where she desperately tries to intervene, like suggesting alternative local care options that Sasha finds suspiciously insistent. This scenario could unsettle Sasha, prompting her to question Willow's motives, especially if Willow's behavior veers into the erratic, such as lingering stares or odd comments that hint at underlying malice. Sasha, piecing together past incidents like anonymous notes or stage mishaps, might sense she's been targeted in a vendetta rooted in Willow's jealousy over Michael. Regardless, Sasha seeks out Nina Reeves for a crucial heart-to-heart, perhaps in Nina's elegant office where the air is thick with unspoken truths. This conversation could revolve around a bittersweet farewell, with Sasha expressing gratitude for Nina's support amid her own invented backstory of overcoming personal losses. Or it might escalate to Sasha airing suspicions about Willow's machinations, urging Nina to intervene before things spiral further. Across town, Michael Corinthos grapples with a weighty decision, his thoughts churning like a storm as he contemplates the fallout from these events. Meanwhile, Drew Quartermain unveils an ambitious strategy, possibly involving corporate takeovers or political plays that demand Nina's reluctant assistance. Drew's leverage over Nina stemming from past secrets or shared scandals could force her hand, leading to consequences like professional setbacks if she resists, adding layers of coercion and moral dilemmas to their dynamic. Pressure mounts on Sonny as someone close implores him to make a profound sacrifice for the greater good, potentially Carly pleading with him to retreat to his secluded private island to shield his family from the brewing dangers. Carly's worry, amplified by recent close calls like drive-by threats or intercepted messages, drives her to argue that temporary exile is essential for safety, painting a vivid picture of a tearful plea in their dimly lit living room where Sonny weighs his pride against his loved one's well-being. Jason Morgan, the steadfast enforcer, is thrown a curveball that disrupts his plans, which might tie back to Sonny's conflicts or unravel the mystery of Willow's involvement in the Daisy stalking saga. This surprise could involve Jason stumbling upon evidence such as surveillance footage or a leaked confession that implicates Willow, prompting him, Sasha, and Michael to collaborate on a clever trap, like staging a fake incident to draw her out. Next, we will explore the buzzing rumors surrounding Sophia Mattsson's role as Sasha Gilmore Corbin, including her intense ongoing storyline with Michael Corinthos and their newborn daughter, amid whispers that she might be bidding farewell to the show and possibly heading to the young and the restless. In the heart of Port Charles, Sophia Mattson continues to captivate audiences with her portrayal of Sasha, who's deeply entangled in a riveting plotline involving her romance with Michael Corinthos and the arrival of their precious baby girl. This arc has become a cornerstone of the show's drama, filled with twists that keep viewers on the edge of their seats, such as secret rendezvous and family revelations that echo through the Quartermain mansion. Fans have been vocal about how Mattson's nuanced performance brings depth to Sasha's struggles, from navigating motherhood to facing external threats. But now speculation is rife that her time on General Hospital might be winding down. Imagine the emotional weight of scenes where Sasha cradles her infant while confiding in Michael about their uncertain future, perhaps during a quiet evening stroll in the park, where invented details like a gentle lullaby she hums adds a tender layer to their bond. These rumors have sparked debates online, with some wondering if her character's desire for a fresh start could mirror a real-life exit, potentially paving the way for cross-soap transitions like joining the glamorous world of Genoa City on The Young and the Restless, where her talent could shine in new, intricate family sagas. Delving into the paternity bombshell, Sasha recently introduced the world to her daughter, Daisy Celeste Gilmore, in a moment that blended joy with shocking truths. At first, she pointed to Jason Morgan as the father, a claim that sent ripples through their circle, evoking tense confrontations and whispered doubts among friends like Carly Spencer, who might have pieced together clues from overheard conversations. However, the real story unfolded dramatically. Michael emerged as the true dad following a passionate, fleeting encounter sparked by his heartbreak over Willow Tate's steamy involvement with Drew Kane. Picture the raw intensity of that revelation, set against the backdrop of a stormy night in a dimly lit apartment, where Michael's eyes fill with regret as he recounts the affair's fallout. Adding invented elements like a hidden letter from Willow that Sasha discovers, intensifying her feelings of betrayal and resolve. During Sasha's pregnancy, Michael was far away in Germany, healing from severe burn injuries sustained in a fiery accident, perhaps a warehouse explosion tied to mob dealings, leaving Jason as the only one privy to the secret until it exploded during Michael's heated custody battle with Willow, turning courtrooms into arenas of emotional warfare and forcing Sasha to confront the web of lies that threatened her new family unit. The plot thickened with the emergence of a cunning stalker, whose actions turned Sasha's life into a nightmare of doubt and fear right after Daisy's birth. Sasha went into labor dramatically while testifying on the witness stand, a high-stakes scene that had her collapsing amid legal chaos, only to deliver her baby girl in a rush of medical urgency at General Hospital, surrounded by concerned faces like those of Portia Robinson and Elizabeth Weber, who provided invented supportive moments such as sharing stories of their own motherhood trials to calm her. Post-birth, peculiar events began piling up: misplaced items, eerie shadows in the nursery, and whispers that made Sasha second-guess her mental stability, crafting an atmosphere of paranoia that had her locking doors and checking windows obsessively. Speculation ran wild among fans, pointing fingers at suspects like the shadowy Jen Sidwell, with his history of vendettas, or even Drew, whose ambitions might drive such sabotage. And there was buzz about a resurrected Brit Westburn, especially with actress Kelly Thibault's confirmed return to the canvas. Though whether she'll slip back into Brit's scheming shoes or debut as a fresh face with mysterious ties remains a tantalizing mystery. In a creative addition, perhaps Brit's comeback involves a hidden twin sister plot, adding layers of deception. Ultimately, the tormentor was unmasked as Willow herself, aligning with fan theories that she might resort to kidnapping Daisy out of vengeful spite after losing custody. Her actions painted with strokes of desperation like anonymous notes left in Sasha's car, escalating the feud into a battle for the child's future. Now, the big question looms: is Sophia Mattsson truly stepping away from the ABC daytime staple? Since joining the cast in 2018, Mattsson has infused Sasha with a blend of vulnerability and strength, making her a fan favorite through arcs of addiction, loss, and now parental bliss. With the current Sasha-Willow-Michael triangle dominating screen time in episodes packed with confrontations and tender reconciliations. Yet, online chatter has intensified with claims that she hasn't inked a new contract, fueling exit rumors that could see her character vanishing from Port Charles. In recent scenes, Sasha voiced her intention to flee town with Michael and Daisy to safeguard their little one from lurking dangers, perhaps inspired by a chilling invented incident like a near-miss car tampering that heightens her protective instincts during a family picnic. If this departure happens on screen, it begs whether it's a short-term plot device, maybe a hideout in a quaint European village, or a permanent goodbye, allowing Mattsson to explore new horizons. True to form, General Hospital's producers play their cards close, often withholding confirmation of cast changes until the 11th hour to preserve storyline surprises, much like past exits that caught audiences off guard with cliffhanger twists. Next, we will delve into the escalating tensions in Port Charles as young Giovanni Joe Palmieri teeters on the edge of defying Sonny Corinthus's strict commands, potentially inviting catastrophe from the ruthless Jen Sidwell, who might strike at Sonny by targeting his vulnerable grandson. The drama unfolds with Joe inadvertently stumbling upon a critical piece of intelligence during the July 10th episode, where he catches wind of Sidwell's secretive discussions about a flight itinerary to Belize and his relentless push to revive the investigation into Natalia Ramirez's mysterious demise. This overheard snippet, perhaps whispered in the dimly lit corners of a bustling warehouse Joe was innocently passing by, propels him into action, racing to Sonny's fortified residence to relay the alarming details. In this charged moment, Gio's youthful enthusiasm clashes with the harsh realities of his grandfather's world, as he bursts through the door with wide-eyed urgency, maybe even sketching out a quick map on a napkin to illustrate Sidwell's movements, adding an invented layer of amateur sleuthing that highlights his naivety. Sonny, however, reacts with immediate ferocity, his face hardening like stone as he issues a stern directive for Joe to back off entirely, underscoring the perilous threat Sidwell represents, especially in the wake of the harrowing ordeal that nearly claimed Christina Corinthos Davis's life at Charlie's pub, where flames and chaos served as a grim reminder of how quickly vendettas can turn deadly. Sonny's protective instincts are on high alert, fueled by the fresh trauma of Christina's brush with death in that inferno, an event that left scorch marks not just on the pub but on the hearts of those who love her, prompting Sonny to envision similar horrors befalling Joe if he meddles further. Envision Sonny pacing his study, the weight of past losses etched in his furrowed brow, as he recounts to Joe the terrifying details of the fire, perhaps inventing a chilling what-if scenario where Joe himself is trapped in a similar blaze, emphasizing why eavesdropping on Sidwell's schemes or engaging in any risky behavior could spell disaster. This paternal warning stems from a deep-seated fear, amplified by Sonny's own history of close calls, making it clear that he views Gio's involvement as a direct invitation for calamity, urging the young man to prioritize his safety above all else in a town where alliances shift like shadows. In a poignant admission, Sonny concedes that Tracy Quartermain's earlier efforts to shield Joe were spot on, leading him to implore his grandson to maintain a safe distance from him, at least until the storm of conflict subsides. This moment of vulnerability from Sonny, perhaps shared during a quiet family gathering interrupted by Gio's arrival, reveals cracks in his tough exterior, as he reflects on how Tracy's interventions may be through invented financial incentives or boarding school suggestions aimed to insulate Joe from the Corinthos family's turbulent legacy. Sonny's push for separation isn't just about immediate threats, it's a heartfelt attempt to rewrite the narrative of loss that has plagued his life, encouraging Joe to pursue normalcy, like focusing on his budding music talents or school pursuits, far removed from the gunfire and grudges that define Port Charles's underbelly. Despite Carly Spencer's valiant efforts to broker a truce between Sonny and Sidwell, advocating for de-escalation in tense negotiations that could involve backroom deals at a neutral spot like the Metro Court, the situation appears destined for intensification rather than resolution. Carly's pleas, delivered with her signature blend of concern and pragmatism, might include creative additions like presenting Sonny with a dossier of Sidwell's weaknesses, such as exploitable business ties, in hopes of averting bloodshed, but whispers suggest Sidwell could redirect his ire toward figures like Marco Rios, escalating the feud into a full-blown war. Her foresight warns of collateral damage, painting Joe as a prime candidate for unintended harm, as the ripples of this rivalry threaten to engulf innocence in a tide of violence that no amount of diplomacy can stem. Even if Joe heeds the call to distance himself from Sonny, the unbreakable bond of blood that ties them together ensures his safety remains precarious, with the entire town aware of their familial link through gossip mills and public spectacles that have broadcast their connection far and wide. This inherent vulnerability means that mere physical separation won't erase the target on Gio's back. Sidwell's operatives could still track him down, perhaps through invented surveillance tactics like bugged personal items or shadowed movements during Gio's daily routines, such as violin lessons or casual outings with friends, underscoring how deeply entrenched family legacies can become weapons in the hands of enemies. Regrettably, Gio's impulsive nature might lead him to disregard Sonny's explicit orders, setting the stage for him to inadvertently stir the hornet's nest by taking unauthorized actions against Sidwell, such as sneaking into restricted areas or attempting to gather more intel on his own. This act of rebellion, driven by a mix of loyalty and youthful bravado, could provoke Sidwell into direct retaliation, transforming Joe from a peripheral figure into a central pawn in the power struggle, with potential scenes of him narrowly escaping a setup ambush that leaves him shaken and more determined, adding tension through invented close calls like a suspicious package delivered to his doorstep. Such defiance could culminate in Joe facing severe peril, landing him in a dire medical emergency that sends shockwaves through his support network. As loved ones receive frantic calls about his condition at General Hospital, where monitors beep ominously and doctors rush to stabilize him. This crisis, perhaps involving injuries from a car chase or a targeted assault in a foggy alleyway, would amplify the fear, with invented details like Gio's whispered regrets from his hospital bed heightening the emotional stakes for those who care about him, forcing a reckoning with the dangers of their world. In the aftermath, this ordeal might unite Brooklyn Quartermain and Dante Falconeri in a heartfelt vigil by Gio's side, where they bond over the precious moments they've lost with their son, reflecting on years of separation due to past secrets and custody battles that kept them apart. Imagine tearful conversations in the waiting room, interspersed with flashbacks to Gio's childhood milestones they missed, such as his first steps or school recitals, fostering a renewed commitment to family amid the uncertainty, and perhaps leading to joint decisions about his future care that strengthen their co-parenting dynamic. If Gio's suffering stems directly from the brewing animosity between Sonny and Sidwell, it could serve as the ultimate breaking point for Sonny, igniting a ferocious determination to dismantle his foe entirely, vowing to erase Sidwell's influence from Port Charles brick by brick. This turning point might manifest in Sonny mobilizing his resources for an all-out offensive, enlisting allies like Jason Morgan for strategic strikes against Sidwell's operations, such as sabotaging his Belize-bound plans or exposing his criminal network, transforming grief into a calculated quest for dominance that alters the town's power landscape forever. ABC General Hospital spoilers indicate that Gio's potential insubordination could exact a heavy toll if he immerses himself deeper in the Sidwell saga. So keep watching for the unfolding mayhem and its far-reaching consequences in Port Charles.